El conferenciante será Simon Humphreys. Thank you, Simon, for being here. Simon es el coordinador nacional de Computing at School. Fue fundador de esta iniciativa que comenzó pues, hace ya más de 25 años con 20 personas y que en la actualidad pues, esta organización tiene más de 21.000 miembros. Es una comunidad pues, que está basada en la idea de Open Source como modelo, en la que profesionales voluntarios pues, forman parte de ella. Pues que este modelo de organización lo que hace es que se basa en comunidades locales donde los profesores pueden practicar y en reuniones cara a cara pues desarrollar iniciativas basadas en tecnologías aplicadas en la escuela y al final pues darse soporte entre ellos. Y Rick Shepherd, el caballero que me acompaña a mi derecha, pues va a hacer la traducción y sobre todo una explicación pues en español de las palabras que Simon Humphrey nos dirija. Simon, the floor is yours.
Gracias. Buenas tardes a todos. Okay. That's the only Spanish I'm going to use this evening, and I do apologize, and thank you for Richard, who will every so often translate what I'm saying for those of you who are not as familiar with English as perhaps I am. Education. There are lots of people who have particular interests in education. And often those people want to put their finger in and poke it around a little bit. Employers have a view about what we think our children should be learning in our schools, expecting them to emerge from school ready to go as good, positive, employable people in their industry. Parents, perhaps the most ignored sector. What do parents want for their children? And, of course, schools. Now, the questions on the slide are framed very much for digital technologies. What do we want our children to learn while at school about their digital world?
Dice Simon rápidamente que hay básicamente tres grupos muy interesados, pero con distintos enfoques en la educación. Los propios centros, las empresas y los padres. Y todos están preguntando qué queremos para el futuro de educación digital de nuestros niños.
Two things I would suggest this evening, this afternoon to you, that we want our children to be able to make sense of the world in which they live and to make the biggest possible contribution to society that they can. Make sense of their world, contribute to society.
Dos cosas que todos queremos, que los chicos pueden comprender el mundo que les rodea y que pueden contribuir a su máximo potencial a ese mundo en el futuro.
Consequently, in schools we teach a number of different subjects: physics, chemistry, history, music. You call it TIC?
TIC, sí,
yes,
TIC. Sí.
PE, game, and so on. We teach various subjects. Now, we teach physics because we live in a physical world. We teach chemistry because we live in a chemical world. We teach biology because we live in a biological world. Today we live in a digital world. What do we teach our children?
Enseñamos casi todo sobre el mundo físico que nos rodea, pero casi nos olvidamos de enseñarles sobre el mundo digital que también les rodea.
In England, we've been going through quite a revolution with our curriculum for technology. We no longer teach ICT, Information, Communication Technology. It's been rebranded. It's now called computing. And one of the roles of Computing at School, the organisation I'm representing, is to put computer science at the heart of our curriculum in schools so that it sits along physics, history, maths, chemistry, because we need to be teaching our children the fundamental principles of computer science. So our curriculum was rewritten. I apologise for all the words. The key words is the first sentence. This was from our government, that the purpose of the computing curriculum was to equip pupils to use computational thinking.
Esto es una distinción muy importante. En Reino Unido ya no se enseña TIC. Se enseña algo, un concepto distinto que se llama computing, que sería algo como computación o ciencias de la información. Y el motivo de esto, que está en la primera línea de lo que ha puesto Simon, es enseñar a los alumnos el pensamiento computacional. Y me largo un poquito aquí porque es uno de los puntos claves de lo que va a hablar Simon. Pensamiento computacional, que los chicos enseñan cómo piensan las máquinas.
So computational thinking is at the heart of our new curriculum in England. It's not about technology. It's about the ideas and the principles upon which that subject is based. And I'll explain a little bit more how we interpret computational thinking and then creativity to understand and change their world. The next piece, the core of computing is computer science. Then you build on computer science information technology, and then you can build on top again digital literacy. At the heart of the new computing curriculum in England is computational thinking and computer science.
O sea, el pensamiento computacional es el centro o la base de todo lo que se hace. Claro, al final que se enseña programación, TIC y cosas así, pero no es el enfoque central de lo que se enseña.
This diagram just puts in a neat way what we mean by computational thinking. Now, let me just do a little bit of background to my own experience. I was a teacher for 25 years. I started being a music teacher, and halfway through my career, I began to lose my hearing, and I went back to university to do a degree in computer science. Why I give you that little bit of personal background is simply because many people have interpreted our curriculum as being a curriculum that is now going to include programming. Hurrah, programming. The curriculum is all about programming and coding, and that would be a mistake. When I was teaching music, all my lessons, we would sing, we would play musical instruments, we would be composing, but my aim was not to provide future performers to sit in the front desk of a symphony orchestra. I was teaching all children. It was relevant for everybody. Concepts and principles of melody, rhythm, harmony, tone, form, shape, experience, adaptability, creativity, history, and so on. In a computer science lesson, these are the principles we teach. Logic, algorithms, decomposition, patterns, abstraction, and evaluation. We could explore those terms, but I don't have quite long enough. It's not just about programming, it's not just about the technology, it's about the thinking skills. How can we teach our children to think computationally? Our world is full of computational devices. We use them all the time. Now, we need our children to understand the principles upon which they're based. It's not magic, it's engineering, and it's taken some computational thinking to create these devices, and solve some of the large problems of our world.
Cuando Simon daba clases de música, no pretendía formar futuros virtuosos, quizá alguno, pero la mayoría era una apreciación general de la melodía, de armonía, etcétera, etcétera, aplicable a todo el mundo. De la misma manera, el plan de estudios en el Reino Unido ahora no está diseñado para producir programadores. Está diseñado para enseñar destrezas que nosotros consideramos como destrezas vitales, de por vida. Pensar de manera lógica, priorizar, colaborar, depurar secuencias, ser creativo. Son todas destrezas aplicadas a cualquier ámbito de la vida, pero sobre todo el ámbito de ese nuevo mundo digital. Es importante entender que no pretendemos formar programadores.
But we have a problem. We need teachers. To solve any problem in education requires good teachers. Doesn't matter what else you throw at education, whatever other bits of kit, systems, you need the teacher in the classroom, confident, inspired, and motivated to teach that class of children. Nothing else matters the world over. It's the same in England, the same in Spain, the same in Malawi, the same in China. It's good teachers. So computing at school in England exists to support those teachers, to help them come together, to share their ideas, learn from each other, to share their best practice, share their expertise, share their passion, provide training where training is required, but provide a network where teachers can connect to each other and can relate to each other, so that we can begin to grow within our current teaching workforce, as well as growing teachers from our universities and through that are excited by and understand what this subject, computer science, is. We can only do it through the teachers.
La razón de ser de Computing at School no es tecnológico, es personal pedagógico. El enfoque es el profesorado y fomentar su entusiasmo, su pasión, su vocación y proporcionarle el apoyo de sus iguales en su andadura profesional y su desarrollo continuo profesional.
So computing at school, we started 8 years ago, 2008, with 4 people. I was one of them. There's now over 22,000 people registered to our community who attend regular meetings, who provide meetings, who put on events for other teachers. As a former teacher, I believe in 3 things when it comes to training other teachers and supporting other teachers. I believe that events, meetings, training should be local. They should be within my city, within my town. I shouldn't have to travel a long way. They must be local. Secondly, face-to-face. Teachers are people. Every day we communicate to a bunch of children. That is what we do. We do not want to go to an online course and say, hey, you could learn all this, just sign up, register, learn online. No, we're people. We want to get in the same room. We want to chat. We want to network. We want to dialogue. We want to share. We want to read how people are reacting to us. So the training should be face-to-face. Thirdly is perhaps the most controversial. If you thought that wasn't controversial, the third one's most controversial. Teachers like to be taught by teachers who are still in the classroom. Not people who left the classroom, they tried it for a couple of years, and have now moved on to management or education boards, and they really didn't enjoy that classroom experience. They want to be taught by other teachers. So the Computing at School community provides network meetings, events, training that fundamentally are local, face-to-face, and teacher-driven. We do this through what we call our hubs, our CAS hubs, and that's the bottom line of all that CAS does, where teachers collaborate, provide mutual support and active participation, and also increase their levels of confidence in understanding this new subject.
Entre todas las profesiones, quizá el profesorado son los seres más sociales. Pasan todo el día delante de chicos. Por ello, los eventos de los nodos locales de CAS tienen que ser presenciales, tienen que ser cerca de donde trabajas o donde vives. Y una cosa muy importante que han descubierto, que al profesorado no le gusta que le formen expertos, le gusta que le formen sus iguales o incluso sus alumnos, o las experiencias de sus iguales con los alumnos de ellos.
So in England, we have a number of hubs, regional centres, university partners. We've identified lead schools. Everybody's job within that community is to share. It is to collaborate. It is to give. We're not a service economy, it's a gift economy. We want to learn from each other through our communities that we're setting up in every town and city across England.
Detrás de todos los nodos locales, detrás de toda la filosofía de CAS son dos palabras importantes: dar y compartir.
This slide is simply saying our world now in England is a very different place. 8 years ago, when Computing at School started, we didn't have computer science in our school curriculum. There were no exams that children could take at age 16 years old in computer science. It wasn't being taught in primary schools. It wasn't being taught in secondary schools across the board. 8 years on, it's a whole different world. Our government has said we must teach computer science. We need to teach computational thinking. We need to stay ahead of the game economically, and we also recognise it's of educational value to every single pupil, every single child in the country. And Computing at School has been at the forefront of that, driving that, but with very particular emphasis on our role of supporting teachers and building that community.
Este movimiento desde abajo hacia arriba y no de arriba hacia abajo ha tenido tanto éxito que ha dado lugar a que el gobierno, el Ministerio de Educación, ha incluido computing o ciencias de computación dentro del currículum oficial a partir de primaria. Esto de una asociación de voluntarios.
No? Don't worry. Time is going. I have two more slides.
Faltan 2 diapositivos, lo va a describir.
Things that we have learnt is that it's really important that you start with primary school children. Start as soon as they enter the school.
Muy importante empezar en primaria.
The other important thing that we have is that within Computing at School, it's not just teachers. We have parents. We have members of the industry, university, researchers, school governors, school heads, anybody that is concerned about the state of computing education in our schools, we invite them to join. It's not a teachers-only club. Anybody can join, but you need to roll your sleeves up and want to get involved and want to support the teachers, because many of them are struggling and they're busy and so on and so forth. So those are two things that we really learnt. Include anybody you possibly can, collaborate, but start young. And really, my kind of final message here is to... Sorry, go on.
Esto para todo el mundo, no solo para profesores de TIC, no solo para profesores de informática, para cualquier tipo de profesor, y no únicamente para profesores, también para padres, también para el mundo de la empresa, también para la dirección, también para la comunidad en general. Cuanta más variedad hay, mejor.
And then finally, Richard is sitting here doing a wonderful job translating. He could be saying anything. What do I know? So I hope he's been translating accurately.
Que no tenéis ni idea de lo que estoy diciendo.
But he is also president of a group called Codemás. Codemás have looked at what we've done in England, computing at school, and is just setting up another computing at school called Codemás here in Spain, to get teachers to work together, to collaborate, to set up local networking hubs where teachers can meet, share best practice, share resources. There is some industry backing through, I believe, through Intel, which is terrific to have their support in this particular place. I believe Google are also supporting as well, which again is terrific. I saw Samsung and VMware and Microsoft here, get to know Rick, trying to do some fabulous work of really getting in amongst the teachers. It doesn't cost a lot, but it certainly costs something just to oil the wheels. So computer science, I believe, is fundamentally important for all children, but you're not going to do it unless you can bring the teachers with you. So you need to be working with the teachers, helping them understand good ways of teaching the subject, right ways of teaching the subject to inspire and motivate the next generation. Groups like Computing at School, Codemás, with support of industry and parents and government, we can transform education in all countries. Thank you for listening.
Y simplemente para que nos encontréis, somos codemás.org, porque como somos asociación. Nuestro Twitter es @code_más, porque Codemás estaba pillado ya. Yo soy presidente y coordinador nacional. Tenemos el apoyo, de hecho Simon es miembro del Consejo Asesor de Codemás, como lo son miembros de Google. Tenemos profesores, tenemos el mundo de la universidad. El sitio está en construcción, pero hay materiales ya. Yo estoy aquí hoy, estoy aquí mañana, y pretendemos replicar, pero de manera acelerada, el crecimiento que ha tenido Computing at School en España bajo el nombre de Codemás. Y agradezco muchísimo a Intel por habernos dado la posibilidad de venir aquí y contar, apoyarnos y contar esta experiencia, que yo lo estoy haciendo porque al final de cabo yo soy educador, soy padre y pago impuestos. Y me importa lo que pasa con los chicos del futuro. No podemos dejar que su posible éxito en el mundo digital sea una cuestión, lo dejamos al azar. Lo tenemos que planificar. Gracias.